Welcome back. My name is Doreen. Today I kind of want to just touch base and let you know how my week went because I know you care. Anyway, it's been a crazy week. Can I recap what I did? All right. Well, as you know from the previous videos, I was supposed to go out this week to some stores and start asking people if they'd be interested in selling some of my artwork. And I designed greeting cards. Of course, preparing for this day was crazy. I mean, the last few weeks, it's been nonstop. I'm designing, doing artwork, and putting it on cards and printing them out, putting the pile up higher and saying, all right, I'll score it later, and I'll shimmer the cards and the whole bit. And then it came to Monday, and I was supposed to go, we were set to go out on Tuesday. And it came to Monday, and I said, oh, I got to still do these cards. And at first I was like, well, I really focused a lot on my line sheet and a price sheet and an order form and then the greeting cards. I had a stack of them focused for this one location with a bunch of herons. When it came to Tuesday, I didn't even think about it until we were out, and I was like, oh, I'm missing all my herons. Completely forgot all about it. Completely forgot all about it. But anyway, when I was preparing, I was so torn all the last couple of weeks of what to bring. Should I bring mugs? Should I bring mouse pads? Should I bring tiles, car coasters, or should I just focus on the greeting cards? Should I put my enamel pins? Should I bring my stickers? You know, you get so crazy doing 500 different things. So I had to hone it back in, I don't know, 1,000,001 times. So I focused on greeting cards. But then so while I was uploading the greeting cards onto my line sheet, I was also adding it to my Notion, and now I still have to add it to my website, which I'm going to go do. So that way it goes over to Fair, because most of them are on Fair, but there's still quite a few that I made that are not yet. And so while I was designing them, I print out a couple, and then I design another, and I print out a couple. So next thing you know, I had a good, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 cards that I still had to cut, score, and glitter a little bit. Well, the next thing you know, it was Monday, and I was like, oh, I have enough time. Well, then Monday hit, and I said, oh my gosh, it's tomorrow. So I sat in my office from like 7:38 in the morning to like 11:30 at night doing the glittering of the cards, the scoring of the cards, finishing my line sheet. And of course, I wanted to get a whole bunch on there, you know. You get carried away. So I had like 4 pages on my line sheet, which I showed in my last video, but then I added more cards to it. And then I also even add my enamel pins, and I have 5 enamel pins, but I figured why not bring them, because they're pretty much available. But I had the old backing on them, so I needed to update the backing. So when we went out on Tuesday, a friend of mine went with me, and she's the one that got me motivated to go out and start hitting the pavement and go to the store, which I need to start doing this on a regular basis. Anyway, so she got me out there, you know, getting me out of my comfort zone, because I really don't enjoy talking to people. I have no problem talking to myself on this thing. But talking to people, oh, it's just the initial starting the conversation. I don't know what it is. It's just a little challenging. But anyway, so we went to about 6 stores and did sell, you know, a dozen of my my enamel pins, and quite a few of the owners weren't there and the buyers weren't there. So we do have to go back. And what I did notice is how people responded to the line sheet versus the greeting cards. they definitely gravitate to the greeting cards. The line sheet, I noticed while I had it in my hand, somebody, they were watching it and trying to figure out what was on it until I gave it to them. But it doesn't do it justice, I mean, as soon as my friend was holding the greeting cards, and as soon as she pulled out a greeting card, then their eyes went to that, and they kind of just looked right at it and was like, oh, these are really nice, and the card stock. And so I got a different reaction from them holding the greeting cards versus looking at my line sheet. So I learned a lot about that, which now I need to make more, because specific. So when I was in the store, I looked around and kind of got a visual of what they had in their store, and thought of different ideas that I can add to the greeting cards that would look really nice in their stores.
I love these colors.
Accommodate everybody, but I can accommodate the stores that I want to be in, right? So my thought was to personalize it, give them the option also to personalize the cards by putting their location and their town, their location. I figure that would add a nice little local charm to the individual cards, personalize it for their area. And then, of course, you got to think that you don't want it in 5 stores right down the block, the same card. That's not cool. You want to spread it out so that way it's more unique to that store and that location. So I learned a lot as far as going out. Then, of course, when I, had to go downstairs and get my enamel pens, I, got them all, and then I realized, I didn't have an invoice book, so forgot that. So important to bring an invoice book. But I did print out customer order forms, so I used the customer order form as the receipt for their purchase. Then I forgot, I have Square Up, so I forgot to download that. I haven't used that in a while since I haven't done craft fairs. So I was downloading that. Well, the Wi-Fi was like slow as molasses, so that was an experience. So I was like kind of freaking, having a moment like, oh my God, they're not gonna, how are they gonna pay, if they're gonna pay with their credit card? Well, thankfully she paid by check, so that was really nice. So it worked out perfect. But however, these are things that I completely flaked off and not prepared for. So the next time it's like, gotta get the sales order book. Don't forget your, get your Square Up ready just in case you have some sales. And that's another thing. My cards, I was just thinking they were going to look at them. I wasn't thinking I was leaving them, but it is nice to give them at least 1 or 2 or something, so that way they can share that with their buyers and their owners, so they can see the quality of it. And then also I noticed, like, all my cards are blank inside, but it doesn't say that. And I didn't even think to say anything, and I don't even think I put it on my line sheet. So that's another thing to consider. Now the question is, do I put the word blank inside on the physical card? I think, then I'm like figure, okay, I'm going to add a sticker. But then if I add a sticker, that's ups the cost for me. So I don't know what to do about that one. What other people do? I know I seen in the stores someone put blank inside on one, but it's part of their card, and I don't want that to be on their card. So that was another thing I thought about, that I need to incorporate that. But someone suggested just putting a little sticker, and that they've seen the sticker on the back of the card. So I guess I'm going to have to do that. But a thought is that when the buyer is there, or the owner, and they are interested and they really like the cards, I can give them the option to mix and match what they want, because I have the cards on me. And if the more cards I have, the more it gives them the ability to choose. because eventually, when you're doing wholesale, you kind of want to group the batches together. So let's say, like, my thing is, I think I want to sell these 6 minimum, so they have to buy 6 of the same card, and then or end a minimum amount order. Let's say $100 minimum order, so that way they buy, let's say, 5 different sets of 6 versus giving them 2 each of each card, and kind of. But if I'm doing it directly at that day, then I figure it'll be worth it, to give them an opportunity to mix and match and buy 2 or 3 cards instead of 6, and then they'll have a larger variety, and that gives them an extra, that gives me an extra push for my cards to get to purchase right away if they were interested. I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Anyway, so it was an experience that I'm glad I went and did, and I learned a lot, and it's not difficult. It's just getting that first sentence out. And I did get a few stores that mentioned that they're not buying as much right now because of everything that's going on. It's really slow. The people aren't buying as much. But the way I figure is greeting cards everybody will continue to buy. I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of people continue to buy greeting cards because they're special. So I got to figure that they'll always need one of those. We'll see what happens. Okay, I did bring a notebook so I can write down everybody's names because, short-term memory. 5 seconds later, squirrel, and I'm already on to something else. Unless I say the person's name at least 5 times, we'll be good. So what I learned is and then also they like touching and feeling the card, so leaving one out so that way you don't have to constantly open up a card. I figure that's a helpful little tip. Well, overall, the experience was interesting. I look forward to doing it again. I have to do it again, so that's all there is to it. So I will get better and I will improve as I continue to do. I met some really cool people. I had fun. I so appreciated the help of a friend of mine. I look forward to her helping me again. We did have fun. It was an experience. And you learn and you grow. You grow and you learn. Is that the way it goes? I don't know. Anyway, that's my day in a nutshell. Hope you have a great day.